Before we begin, let us take a moment to bring our hands together in veneration, our teacher, our master, he who found the true meaning of our lives, he who told us, he who showed us the path to free ourselves from all the sufferings, defilements, reminding ourselves the nobleness of our noble teacher. Let's bring our hands together in veneration, the Supreme Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Hope you all are doing good and practicing the path. And I've heard that people in Sydney these days, they have valuable time with our Anagarika Mahatmeans. They're having good time. So people go there and observe 10 precepts and involve in Dhamma activities and sessions, practicing meditation, discussions, group discussions, a lot going on there. So I think the Anagarika Mahatmins will visit Melbourne, I think September, no, end of August, this month, August, and in Queensland, New Zealand, Auckland, on September, the beginning of the September. Should be somewhere around. So it's, I mean, so you get, I mean, take the maximum out of them, that because they have this valuable Dhamma. They are the ones who they're actually the female version of us who practice this path, like you all. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what we gain, what we have gained by coming to this asana, that the understanding of the reality, understanding of the truth. So actually, the truth that we explains here, it's not something that you will be able to understand by yourself. You won't be able to realize by yourself, or this you can't hear this from any teacher, any other teacher that you have, like you met. You won't be able to understand this from them, because unless if they understand what Buddha has taught. It's not about a religion, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the reality of this world, because this is something that every living being in this world, like, they should come in front of the Buddha, and they should come in front of the Buddha and understand what is the reality. Otherwise, not Buddha means the whoever who realized the Buddha. I'm not talking about a person, Buddha. Buddha means the realization, the wisdom, the reality. So the pure consciousness. So you need to understand, you need to find out that pure consciousness. Then and then only you would be able to understand by yourself. Like, you would be able to liberate your suffering, your like annoyance, the despair or dejection that you experience. Because all the living beings in this world, everybody is suffering because of these defilements in their minds. It's not about the outside world. Outside world is not the problem here, ladies and gentlemen. Outside world is very innocent. Outside world, there's no problem in the outside world. There's no issues. There are no issues in the outside world. Outside world is like that. It's full of incidents. These incidents cannot trigger any suffering within the mind. The thing is, when the mind is ignorant, when the mind think that mind is a separate entity, not when mind feels that mind is a separate entity that exists in the world, in the nature, then that mind start to experience the suffering. That means we all experience in that way. You don't experience in reality. In your day-to-day life, you don't perceive in reality, because if you have become Arihatun Vahanse, that means a person who is enlightened. If you have come to the ultimate wisdom, if you gain the ultimate wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, then the suffering won't be there. You won't feel any difference. You won't feel any difference from going place A to B. You won't feel any difference like living in Sydney or living in Sri Lanka or living in London. You don't feel any difference. You feel very neutral. Everywhere you go, you feel very neutral. You can deal with whatever life brings to you. You don't have to worry about people, toxic people. You don't have to worry about, okay, I annoy them, so I don't want to live with them. I hate them. You won't say like that. Arihatun Vahanse won't say like that, ladies and gentlemen. Arihatun Vahanse means a person who enlightened, right? Arihatun Vahanse won't say like that. He experiences the world as it is. He doesn't have any issue with the world. We are the one who is always blaming, pointing our finger towards outside, and we are the one who always complaining, because of this I have this problem. That means, ladies and gentlemen, in your day-to-day life, you will experience a lot of problems, right? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about what you experience in your mind. Because you feel the gravity, you feel the dejection, you feel despair, you experience these negative emotions. These emotions doesn't have anything to do with the outside incident. Sun rises, sun sets down. Sun doesn't have agenda to make you suffer. Do you understand that? Do you think that there's an agenda in the sun? Okay, I should make these people suffer. Right? Do you think sun has this idea, like sun is willing to make you suffer? But some days you have some days you don't like that day. You don't like that day because that day is something that like somebody that you loved, right? Let's say passes away, and that's because of that you don't like that day. Do you think that sun has this agenda to make you suffer on that day? No, 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 no. Nothing in the outside world. Everywhere you can see reactions. These reactions, these energy conversions, this transformation of energy doesn't have anything to do with the suffering, ladies and gentlemen. There shouldn't be any pressure in here. In the mental process, if there's a pressure in the mental process, that means mental suffering. If there's a pressure in the mental process, that means that mind is ignorant about the reality. That's why there's a pressure. If you experience some dejection, despair, if you experience some inadequacy in your life, it's totally because of the ignorance. Avoid trying to fulfill your life, trying to like trying to satisfy, satiate that void. Everybody in the whole world, all world living beings, everywhere in the realms. You can go to heavens and hells and on. Don't worry. This is not the place that we discuss. Don't go to hell, go to heaven. No, ladies and gentlemen, even hell and heaven both have the same problem. If the hell and the heaven both have the same problem, what's the point of going to hell and going to instead of going to hell and going to heaven? Have you seen, like, these are the stories about these deities? There's a nice story. One woman, like she, I think she was very old, like she was just about to die. She was very in the sad mood, and suddenly the Buddha appeared in front of her. The Buddha, she saw the Buddha, and I think Buddha has talked to her, something like there's a conversation happened as a result of that prasada, as a result of that pleasantness that happened in her heart. With that pleasantness that happened in her heart, she passed away on that moment. Then she born in the heaven, in the middle of four great heavens, like, Chatu Maharajika, Yama, Tusita, Nimmana Rati. There are four great heavens, like these, the major kingdoms of heavens, like, these stories, huh? So there are four kings, the kings of these deities. This woman was born in very beautiful, like she was very beautiful, she was very elegant, how do you call it, like very nice, right, in figure. Because of her beauty, now these deities have gone crazy. Not the deities of the other, like these are the kings have gone crazy, and now there's a war between these four great kingdoms of this heaven, like who get this women, like this goddess, right? Now what happens? So there's an argument between all these four kings, and now they have gone to, there's a superior king. For those four kings, there's another king. He's superior than these four kings. You know what? When this problem raised to the Supreme Court in the Deva world, right? Who is the judge in there? Now he is telling, no, not you. I need her. Right? Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If this is true, right? What's the point of going to hell, like heaven? I mean, point of going to heaven, you can say it's suffering and you burn and there's Yamapallas and everybody is doing all these nonsense and nasty things. Okay, don't go to hell, go to heaven. The problem here is, even you go to hell, like heaven, the mental suffering still will be there to the maximum. Those days, I remember when I was young, the schools are fighting against each other. And the reason behind this fighting? A girl. Exactly the same thing happens. In Sri Lanka, Colombo, I went to Royal College, and there's another college called Thurston. So we, like, it's next school. We both fight each other. So time to time, there are fights. The reason behind these fights is because of a girl from Museus College. Like, there are people who went to Museus College. That's why, right? So this is what actually happens. Exactly same thing happens in the heaven. So what's the point of going there? Ladies and gentlemen, that's why everywhere you go in these 31 realms of existence, you won't find happiness, you won't find satisfaction, because everybody is having this existential inadequacy in their mind. They are in a fight to find to fulfill this inadequacy. They're suffering to the maximum, ladies and gentlemen. You experience this throughout your life. What you have been doing is to find out. What you have been doing is to fulfill that inadequacy. That's why you are right now. Right now, also you're trying to do that. It's like you can't stop it, because when the inadequacy happens in your mind, what to do? What else to do? You have no idea what to do. You try to do something to fulfill that. I mean, that's why, I mean, the whole purpose of your life is to find something to fulfill that inadequacy. The thing is, inadequacy arises, and you put something, and then after that you think, okay, it's settled. No, it again arises. It's like a baby. Every day it's crying. Your mind is like a baby. You show them, Putali, baby, see, this is good, nice, beautiful, see. And then, okay, take it. And then, after some time, again cries. Then you take something else. See, this is very beautiful, new thing. See. Then what happened? Again the cries. I mean, never satisfies. The baby never satisfies. Because he can't be satisfied, ladies and gentlemen. Baby doesn't know what baby wants. Mother doesn't know what baby wants. Mother doesn't know what mother wants. In that case, ladies and gentlemen, everybody doesn't know what they want. The wanting is there, no idea what they want. If this is the case, ladies and gentlemen, how to come out of this suffering? How to come out of this? I mean, think about this. This is the life that you are keep going on. This is the life the running. That's why you need a job. That's why you need a high class job, even though you have 6-figure salary. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, nobody satisfied. Go and ask from Elon Musk whether he's satisfied. Whether he is satisfied. No. Elon Musk say, I have to do this and then I'll be fine. Don't worry, he won't be fine. He has no idea what to do. Nobody knows, ladies and gentlemen. 31 realms, go and seek from anywhere. You won't find this Dhamma except if somebody has to meet the Buddha's disciples who found this Dhamma, who found this truth. There's only one truth exists in this world. There's only one truth exists in this world. That's the ultimate truth. I'm not talking about the Buddhism. To find the ultimate truth, you have to meet the Buddha. If you meet the Buddha, then you will find the ultimate truth. Otherwise, you won't find the ultimate truth, ladies and gentlemen. You can't isolate. It's something like this, ladies and gentlemen. Think about a shadow. Can you see a shadow here? Can you see that shadow? And
Yes.
the shadow of my hand. Uh, think about this shadow. Can shadow comes out and understand shadow is because of the hand? Shadow appears because of the hand. Imagine the shadow has the consciousness. Do you think that shadow can come out from there and see what's going on in the hand and the outside? Or shadow is a shadow is a shadow. Because shadow cannot come out from the shadow. Because shadow is the shadow. Shadow can't come out from the shadow and see how come that I manifest. Shadow is very innocent. Shadow doesn't have any idea how that shadow is being made. Shadow has no idea, ladies and gentlemen. Shadow has no idea. Shadow has no idea what actually happens there. Shadow is very innocent. It's a tragedy because shadow exists. He feels that he exists, but he doesn't know how he exists. This is exactly happened to you. Think about this. The shadow, see, shadow thinks shadow is dancing. Shadow feels that shadow is dancing. No, ladies and gentlemen, shadow can't dance. Shadow is a result. Shadow is an effect because of the causes. Shadow feels, no, I exist and I am the one who dance. No, he can't do anything. He's not doing anything, ladies and gentlemen. He's just an acting. The shadow is an effect. It's not something there. It's not something, he doesn't have a control of himself. I mean, we feel that we have a control, isn't it? Do you feel, right? You have a control? Yes, you feel. It's because of the ignorance. It's totally because of the ignorance you feel that you have a control of yourself. See, in this case, shadows start to think, see, I am the shadow and I can control myself. See, I am dancing. No, when the courses coming together, the dancing happens. When the courses comes together, the dancing happens. This is an effect. Shadow is an effect. So I can't see this. I can show you this, right? This is the shadow. See the shadow there. Huh? This shadow. Hmm? Destitute to the maximum. He doesn't have any idea. That's what exactly happened to you. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have not attained Aryatunase, right? I hope that you have you enlightened. Are you enlightened? Try to. Okay, so try to, right? So you haven't enlightened. Okay, good. So then, then you can understand what I mean. Otherwise, you don't have to come here. Then I'll give my like microphone to you, and you can preach Dhamma to me. Right? That means that doesn't mean that I have attained enlightenment. I am also practicing. We are sharing this, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the case. We have to understand the way we experience the world. I'll keep this side because I'm going to dance here now. The way we experience the world, right? Now, this is what you have to understand. Right now, you experience the world. This experience, right now, the way that you experience the world is ignorant. That experience, that mind that arises right now with your body, with like an association associated with your body, that is in the presence of ignorance. That means not knowing the reality. Right now, you don't have any idea what goes on, what's going, what happens here, right? But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, since you were born, you have been experiencing in the same way. Not only you, but the people who associate, like the people, everybody who you associated, they also experience in the same way. The funny thing, ladies and gentlemen, blind can't direct blinds, right? Beggar can't help beggars. Likewise, everybody feels in the same way. Everybody suffers in the same way. That's why you have this very bad idea. You know, if you are also suffering from like I mean, you get sometimes you get very satisfied that if your problem is there with another one, if someone else also suffering from the same problem, you feel, oh, you also have the same problem. See, Paranna, see, like, you feel like the same way. Like it's you feel that oh, that's why, ladies and gentlemen, these the anxiety support groups exist. People who has anxiety, they get together, they share the anxiety among each other. Because of their sharing anxiety, they can't come out of anxiety. You also have anxiety. See, I also have anxiety. Ah, okay. See, nice. So you're happy about that. That there's somebody else also suffering the same way that you suffer. The people, sometimes when your girl ran away, when your boy ran away, in this kind of situation, you listen to those love music, right? The people sometimes the love music, the songs. Why do you listen to them? You feel that somebody else is also feeling the same way that you feel. You want to experience that same way that you feel. I'm satisfied. This is what exactly happens, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the ignorance, totally ignorance, ladies and gentlemen. This is totally ignorance, ignorance, ignorance. It happened to me as well. It happened to you as well. Everybody experience in the same way, ladies and gentlemen. So even it doesn't matter whether you are 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like 20 years old, 15, 5 years old. It doesn't matter. You always experience the same way. That's what actually happens because of the ignorance. The way we experience the world right now, the way we perceive the world, you think that's okay, that's nice, that's the perfect way to perceive the world. Ladies and gentlemen, you experience subject object experience. You experience there's an object and the subject. Subject is dealing with the object. You understand that? There's a subject that deals with the object. Object is there, subject is there. Object outside, subject inside. Inside subject dealing with the outside object. That's why you feel sun rises and sun passes, sun sets down. It doesn't happen like that because of your subjective experience. That's why you say sun arises, because sun doesn't go around you. But this is your experience. The way you experience it is what? It goes around you. That's why people say sun rises and sun sets down. Try to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I'm highlighting. I'm highlighting here. This is the way you experience that. This is the way you experience the ignorance, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand in what you have to understand the difference between ignorance and the non-ignorance. It's not only understanding, you have to feel it, you have to sense it. The people, like whenever that we have these discussions, whenever that we arrive, we take you through the journey of this anicca nature, you start to experience in the reality. That's why you're saying in the when I listen to your sermon, Swami Nwansa, I can feel it, and after that I don't feel in that way. When you associate this noble association, you experience in that way. You come back to your senses. You start to experience your senses. People say, come back to senses. Calm down, come back to senses. Yes, come back to senses, because there's only sensing business happens. There's no object there. There's no subject. All the, right now, okay, let's talk about this. Right now, you are living in a room. You understand that? You are living in a room. You are an entity. There's a room around you. You are living inside that room, and then you are looking at the outside, and there's a laptop or whatever, the computer, and you can see a monk is talking to you. This is what you experience, ladies and gentlemen. This is your experience. This is your individual personal experience. Got it? This is how you experience. This is the way you feel it. You and world. The room is there. You are here. Room is there. Room is room. Room is fixed. There's nothing changed. Nothing happens in the room. Room is there. This is my room, and I am here. Room is outside. The way that you experience right now is the jati. This is because of the defilement process. This is because of the ignorance process. Right now, pure consciousness also there in the presence of ignorance. Pure consciousness plus defilement process. Both are operating, both are functioning. This is how you experience the world, when both defilement process and the pure process, the consciousness process, both processes parallelly happens. When both processes parallelly happens, this is how you experience the world. Don't worry about if you don't know about this defilement process, pure conscious process. I will explain them, right? I'm telling to, like, there are two processes happens because of the ignorance, attachment, jati happens. Sense of separation happens. and pure consciousness. Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vinyan. I think we discuss here, right? In this discussion, we have discussed some sort of things. We'll discuss every day. We discuss the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Even though you feel that today sermon is really good, the yesterday sermon is bad, and I am discussing the same thing because what we do is practicing the path. When you listen to the sermons, what you're doing is coming. I'm taking through a journey to touch the realm of Arhatun Wahanses, the Arhatun Wahanses experience. We are going there and come back every Monday at 7 p.m. There's a journey. You have to buy the ticket and come here. I mean, we don't sell, right? Going to the Arhatun Wahanses realm and come back. There's a journey. Because when I say Teruvan Sanai, see you next week, then you switch automatically. It turns off the switch and you will be in the hell again. Hell means that your normal day-to-day life. That's what exactly happens. That's why you need that noble association. That's why so this is what my ask of you, ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to this, I want you to come here. I want you to be in this monastery, be in the presence of this noble association. So there's put me into the right path. Like after this, I have some story to tell you. So I met a Russian lady when I was in the UK. And then I found that out that she is the one who teaches Russian language to our monks. She hasn't, I mean, in that time, she hasn't visited, she didn't have any thoughts to come here. She didn't have any idea to come here. She was teaching to our monks Russian, and she just visited because of that. There's a monk visiting from the same monastery. Because of that, she visited me on the first day that I went there. I think it's in um, Gatwick, near London, Gatwick, near that. There's a suburb. So she came there. You know what happened? And I explained the Dhamma, and after that, ladies and gentlemen, every sermon that I did in the UK, even in the Sinhala sermon, she turns up. She can speak Sinhala as well, little bit. Because of that, she comes there. Now she can speak, she can understand little bit Sinhala, so she can understand much Sinhala. Because of that, now I have to explain the Dhamma both in Sinhala and English every sermon. So every sermon was like Singlish sermon. The people who doesn't understand Sinhala, I have to speak in Sinhala. The people there are foreigners in the audience as well. So Singlish, all like it's a achar in Sinhala. Anyway, so after that visit, so she booked a ticket to come to the monastery. And yesterday, like when I came here, she was like she was participating these counseling programs and individual sessions and Nyaya sessions, theory sessions that we conduct here. You know what happened? Yesterday she came with her son. Yesterday she decided that okay, I'll keep my son in the noble heart. I'll join as Anagarika. You know, like in future, like it will take some months because she has decided to quit all the things there and she will live here. So this is what I mean that's why I want you to come here. Even though I don't want to. I'm not saying that you will stay here forever. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand this. You need to understand the compassion and loving kindness that we have towards the world and the profound wisdom that we have as a result of that. The people. I mean, there's a huge vibe here. So because of that, if you get cleansed, I mean if you have this association, noble association, then what happens? Then you can go like Swami Wahanse in future and spread this message across the borders. Who knows? Who knows what happens to you? Hmm? I mean, do you have any idea what might happen in the next few moments? Hmm? Are you going to live? I mean, you have a plan. I know that you have a plan. After this, you are doing this. You have a plan. That's acceptable. But just I'm asking, do you have an insurance that okay, I'll be safe? Even though you have insurance companies, I mean, even though you are insured in an insurance company, ladies and gentlemen, your life is not insured. Insurance company can't give you insurance about your life. Even though it says life insurance, ladies and gentlemen, there's no life insurance. People say, I mean, the insurance company selling this life insurance. There's a one comedy drama in Sri Lanka that the insurance company came, like, and he's asking, okay, we are selling this life insurance. Do you want to buy it? Why should I buy? If I passed away, what happens? If I passed away, the insurance agent says when you pass away, your wife get, let's say, 10 million, and your the son and daughter gets 5 million. Okay, I don't get anything, right? So I have to pay everything during during my lifetime. I have to work hard, and I have to pay extra money. So when I pass away, you will give money to my wife and my sister. So what happened to me? Are you going to give something to me? No. Then no, no, no. No life insurance. I am okay with this. It's a comedy. This is what exactly happens. We have no idea ladies and gentlemen, what comes next. That's why I told you, right? Your national anthem is Que sera sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera sera. That's your life story. Hmm? Okay, let's come back to the Dhamma that we have been discussing. Hmm? So, ladies and gentlemen, the way you experience the world, there's a problem. There's an issue. You experience the world in the presence of ignorance. As a result of that, you feel that you are living in a room and watching something in the laptop. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the ground level of ignorance. At this moment, you don't have any ups and downs. You don't have any suffering. You don't have any much like agitated experience. You don't have any negative emotions because you are listening to Dhamma talk and you are okay. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the base point. This is the base. This is the base that makes you suffer. The way that you experience right now, that is the base which creates suffering, which creates sadness, anger, happiness, whatever that you tell me, this is the base. But the thing is, everybody doesn't do anything to the base because nobody knows that this is something wrong here. Everybody thinks it's okay. This is the way, this is okay way. This is not wrong way. This is okay. The way that you perceive the world right now is okay. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? This is where you experience, this is the way that you have experience, you are experiencing right now. You are there, world is outside, and you are watching at the outside. Outside world is there, inside world is there. You are you are I mean, it feels like you are a detector. Do you understand that? You are a detector what happens in the outside. You are detecting what happens in the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the defilements. This is the base defilement we all have. Sometimes you might feel that your defilements are because you love, you have this lust, you have this anger, you have this fear. I want to get rid of my anger. I want to get rid of this attachment. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. These are the next levels of defilements. You know, the ground level defilements, and there's another upper level defilements. What you're talking about is upper level defilements. Nobody touches this. Nobody touches this. The ground level. There's a defilement in the ground level, the base, the way that you experience the world. That is wrong, right? So let's draw and see. This is the normal process. This is where the mind is what? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. What is Rupa? Rupa means color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. These are the trigger, the ignition points of the mind. As a result of that, Vedana happens. Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. This is what, or collectively you can say, this is the perception. This is the perception. This is the sense. Does that make sense? When you say yes, what happens? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara is going in your mind right now. Yes. Right? At the same time, now what happened, ladies and gentlemen? At the same time, here, because of the ignorance, what happens? Because of the ignorance and attachment, this leads to a sense called jati. This is what you experience as separation. Separation, entity, uniqueness. This is what you experience right now. The jati happens. When jati happens in your mind, in the presence of Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana, when Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana happens, this process also happens. When both the process happens, the way you experience is this. Subject is there, subject and the object. Subject is looking at the object. This is the environment. This is you. There's a surrounding. When both process happens, this is what you experience. Do you understand this? When this process and this process, both processes happens, this is the way you experience the world. You and the environment. There's an object, there's a subject. Subject is dealing with the object. Because, subject means an entity. Object is also an entity. There's a separation between subject and object. There's a separation between subject and object. Subject is not the object. Object is not the subject. Subject is subject, object is object. Subject is not object, object is not subject. Do you understand that? But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is also a sense. This is also a sense. Perception is also, where does the perception happens? It's in the outside or in association your mind. I mean, this is you. We understand that? Where do you feel things? Can you see this? What happened? The fan? Can you see this? You can see this, right? Right? When you say yes, where does this judgment happens? Is it here or there? The judging thing, it happens within you. It's not here. It's not something outside, something that happens inside, within you. Right? Okay. Then, ladies and gentlemen, now think this, right? Think about this. This is the way you experience the world. This is the way that you experience. Subject and the object. There's a subject, there's an object. Because both processes are running. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, and ignorance and attachment leads to jati. This is the defilement process. Defilement process. This is the defilement process. This is the pure consciousness. This is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness and defilement process. Both processes are running right now. Now, if I draw you, what actually happens when pure consciousness, when there's only pure consciousness, sorry, there's one S extra. When pure consciousness happens, there's no ignorance. That means color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thought happens in the mind. The consciousness happens. Consciousness means perception. Perception. You know, in here, the decision is not like that. What you experience is, ladies and gentlemen, there's not two places. You will experience an experience. Ariyatun Wahanse experience seeing process, hearing process, smelling process, not smelling something. There's no thing to smell. Smelling process, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. These processes happens. There's not entities. There's no separation between. Like right now. Now tell me, the room that you experience, the room that you experience right now. I came again. The room that you experience right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's totally a projection of your mind. It's your mind you experience as your room. Then who are you? I mean, you means this body also. It's the mind. Mind means the color happens in the mind. Tactile sensations, touch experience happens in the mind. Now think about this way. If you don't feel if you don't get the signals from your arm, would you feel there's an arm? Sometimes when you sleep in the wrong side, wrong posture, sometimes because of these nerves are blocked, when nerves get blocked, you feel this, right? You don't feel that nerves. In that kind of situation, you get afraid of what? You lost your hand. Nothing happened. Physically, you can see from, the color happens in the mind. There's a perception of hand, but there's no perception of tactile sensations. As a result of that, two factors are not coming here, coming together to authenticate there's a hand. You know that? I mean, what we are doing is two-factor authentication. It's exactly like password and for you get. I mean, you get the phone. Sometimes you have the passcode to the phone, that you get the passcode to the phone to authenticate that it's you. It's you who is doing all these things. I mean, your individual experience is something that happens to you. Right? You think this room is right. Your room is white color, yellow color, and there's light everywhere. You can see this. That experience, that itself is completely colors. Colors are manifesting in the mind, ladies and gentlemen. Colors are not something there in the outside. That means the way that you experience does not exist in the outside world. Outside world is like this. Outside world is like this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say there's a flower. There's no flower. It's actually, this is aggregation of energy. There's no color in it. This is colorless. It's colorless, ladies and gentlemen. And the thing is, this energy is being aggregated here. This energy particles. I mean, you can't see this. You can't sense this. You can't touch this. You can't experience at all about this. But this outside world, these are, I'm only drawing one petal, okay? What actually happens there is energy is coming out and free energy goes in. That means there's an equilibrium. There are two types of energy: energy aggregated, energy free, and free energy. So this is not the, I mean, if you talk, if when you, I mean, I think we discussed this as well as last time. I mean, it's good. I mean, we discuss again and again. Like imagine the electron. Electron itself is not an electron. It's not something made. Electron is an aggregation of energy. This is an aggregation of energy. That's why E has an association with the mass. This is where Einstein has developed this equation, E equals mc squared. There's an, this E means the free energy. Free energy has a relationship to the mass. That means whatever the mass that exists here, that is not mass. This is an aggregation. That is very, it's not something entity. It came closer. It come like it aggregated closely packed energy. But the thing is, this energy, something never produced, because free energy, there's free energy outside. This energy comes in, aggregate energy goes out. There's always dynamic equilibrium. There's a dynamic equilibrium. Nothing is fixed here. Free energy and aggregated energy, always in a dynamic equilibrium. Now think about, this is your eye. Your eye is also what? Again, aggregated energy. Energy aggregation. This aggregation is also, this is also energy aggregated. This is also aggregated energy. This energy aggregation, the energy released to the outside comes in. That means, ladies and gentlemen, whatever that you think as your body is not something fixed. Right at this moment, the microscopes, not microscopic, the energy level, it is not something made. It is something always like going like in the process of making, in the process of always what creating, in creating production. I mean, this is like whole world is like this, ladies and gentlemen. Now imagine, this is what I discussed yesterday as well. When the light ray comes here, right? Let's say the light ray comes here, right? When the light particle, let's say photon comes here, it's in here, right? Do you think the flower is made, or flower is willing to expecting a light ray? No. I mean, there's no flower here. There's an aggregation of this, a pattern. There's an arrangement of energy. Now, what happens? When the light ray is here, when the photon is here, whatever the aggregation that exists here is not existed, right? It's in the always dynamic equilibrium. That means when the light ray hits here, the electron that hit the light is not the electron will get excited, because always it's in dynamic equilibrium. It's not fixed, ladies and gentlemen. Because of that, whatever that emit here is not the, like, in chemistry we learn that electrons get excited and comes down. What goes up doesn't comes down, because it's not the same entity that comes down. Always in the dynamic equilibrium. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, when this comes to the eye and hit the eye retina, this eye retina is also not fixed. It's also in the dynamic equilibrium. It's not something done. It's not something made. As a result of that, all these processes give rise to the color perception. This is the color. Color manifests in the mind because of this process, this incident. When color happens in the mind, this incident already happened. Incident happened, then color happens. Incident happens, and then color happens. Because color happens before, color cannot happen before the incident. Color happens after the incident. Incident is whatever the energy is being, this energy conversion process. It has to happen. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, when color happens, Rupa Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, this process happens. As a result of that, there's a perception happens. In the Sanya, this is where you attract all the data to make sense, like I mean, this is the cognition part, recognition. It's not recognition, it's recognition. You're not recognizing, you're recognition. I mean, this is the way that you perceive before. You're gathering that data and create that experience. It's not you are doing, it happens. Now think about whatever the color, the way that you experience the world. This is not the way that actually exists outside. It's not something there like that. All our energy is being aggregated, energy is being converted into different forms, free energy, light energy, and different same energy in a different formation. It's a chaos, ladies and gentlemen. It's not it's not something made, something completed outside exists outside in the outside. It's not something done. It's not something made. It's not something completed. It's chaos. Everywhere, I mean, you have seen these fluctuations of energy. It's not something completed. Without the color, still energy conversion might be happening. There's no shape. There's no specific shape. But what happens there is an aggregation. The aggregated energy is there. This aggregated energy, I mean, you can't say. So, Niranjan, this is the mindset that we don't understand. You can't say without the color that exists, because what exists? You can't say something exists. You can't say something exists, because always in the process of dynamic equilibrium, you can't say something exists. But what we can say like this, even without the Rupa, there might be energy conversion happens. Energy conversion always, that's why, ladies and gentlemen, when you after you finish this sermon, if you go to the kitchen, you see there's a kitchen. But when you are here, still that energy conversion, the way that energy conversion that happens in there, it happens. Because shape, I mean, the way you feel the shape, thanks to the colors. Okay. You can't experience a shape without color, because shape doesn't appear. Like, shape is something that you perceive. Okay, got it's it. Not something, it's not something there. It's something because of the color you perceive the shape. Shape happens because of the aggregation process. Because of the ignorance, the separation happens. Because of that separation happens, there's a sense that always that color exists in the outside. That, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing, right? Okay. Because of this jati process, ladies and gentlemen, because of this jati process, this is where you feel I, me. This is me, right? When this sense happens, that sense itself as an entity. Which sense? This jati, the ghostly sense, which doesn't have anything. It's just a sense, separation, right? It feels it is me, right? And this is my chitta, my consciousness, right? This is the outside world. Beauty comes in the next level. In the base level, we both experience entity called flower in the outside. And sure. then we both have another opinions about beautiful flowers and bad, like ugly flowers. So this is what actually happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is what, because of this jati, when jati happens, I mean, collectively, because of this sense of separation, this Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, the perception, this is what you feel as your perception. I am perceiving inside. and all the color, sound, taste, smell, touch, and the thought object. Memory comes, right? Do you think when you think about something, it comes to your mind, right, from outside? That's the way you feel it, isn't it? Ah, yeah. Yeah. Who is that person? Yes, that person. Yeah, it came to me. Right, came to me. See, you feel that it's coming from somewhere. That person who told us that bad words. Remember that day when I was in Auckland. Remember? Huh? Ah, yes. Yeah, yeah. He is the guy. He is the guy. So I mean, you feel that it comes to you from the outside. This is totally because of the jati. Because of the jati happens in your mind. Because of the ignorance about that reality that everything is in production. Everything is, nothing has created, everything is, all incidents, all events are just in the process of experiencing, generating. You don't feel in that way. As a result of that, ladies and gentlemen, you feel in this separation. You always experience this separation. Yes.
So,
So
okay.
I'm not talking about thinking. I'm talking about thought object. You feel that idea. The about this is like this. Color happens, then color is being perceived. Thought
Mm-hmm.
object happens, the thought object being perceived. Thought
Mm-hmm.
object creates the Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, the process, right? That process itself feels that this is my chitta, this is my mind. That's why do you feel that your mind? Don't you feel that your mind?
So
Your
we
mind. I mean, we all feel this is you. I mean, your mind and my mind both are same or different. How do you feel? Different. Your mind is not my mind. My mind is mine. It's mine. See, bad. This is the. There's no bad thing. There's no good thing in this world because what you have to get rid of is ignorance. Because you feel there's a husband. My goodness, where's the husband? That's the problem here. When you indulge in when you are ignorant, when you are living with ignorance, when you are in the deep level of ignorance, ladies and gentlemen, you feel that you are associating people. You know, I mean, now this is the case, right? I'll explain this. Even though you call, like say, this is the drawing of person. Let's divide this. This is the person. This is the character you think. I'll come to you, Sam. So thank you for being patient. So this is the person. Hmm? Person means there's no person, ladies and gentlemen. There's no entity there. Person is, how do you know about person? You know about person because of the color, because of the sound, because of this. If you smell it and taste, touch. These are the things that brings you an idea of a person. There's a character. There's a character there. But ladies and gentlemen, what actually happens there? There's an aggregation of energy, which is what we call body. This energy is being always transforming to the outside and comes in like this. It's a dynamic equilibrium. This is consists with four great elements. This is what we call energy. Energy. The Buddha explained energy as four great elements. We know it as energy thanks to the scientist, right? The body is not a body. Body is a bodying. It's a process. And there's another form of energy which is very finest form of energy, rupa vedana sanya sankara vijnana. This is consciousness. This is also not something there. It is also something like candle flame. It's also manifesting, ting, 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 always happening. It's not something done. Color is not something made. Color is being produced each and every experience, each and every moment. We have discussed this, right? You contemplate with me. The color, it's not something done. It always appearing in the process of appearing. It's not something done. So this is also a process. This is also a process. And there's a And along with that, if that process has defilements because of the ignorance and attachment, there's a jati process happens. There's a jati. That means always the sense of separation happens. Sense of separation happens. Okay. This is also a process. Now tell me, ladies and gentlemen, where's the person? Is there a person, or this is the collection of all these processes you refer to as a person? There's no person outside. There's no entity exists in the outside. There's no entity. Like, even though I can call you as Nilanchal, I can call you as Sam, I can call you as Devashis. Devashis is not Devashis. Devashis Singh. Nilanchaling. That's what we say. Because it's a process, it's a aggregation of energy. Consciousness keep happening. Consciousness happens. This consciousness in the presence of ignorance. Jati process also happens. It doesn't. We don't know whether you're enlightened or not, because it's your individual experience. As a result of that, let's say you are enlightened, then you don't have this ignorance and attachment jati. That process won't be there.
So the
Color happens because of the high frequency level that happens in the like, because of the light energy. Light energy is terahertz frequency. Sound energy is hertz frequency. Sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, these are sub level of hertz. And the mental object thought is extremely high frequency. Yeah, because culture you're living means the environment, right? These
yes,
environments has these vibrations. That means different energy vibrations that
yes,
triggers vipak. And here I didn't write the vipak energy that triggers the color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. Right? The thought is also mental object. Color is also a mental object, because color doesn't exist anywhere. Color happens in the mind because of the vipak energy being converted. That means, ladies and gentlemen, even though I'm telling a different frequency, right? This is not the different objects. There's no difference. It's the same energy in the different frequency. Because that's whatever that the way you experience, the way you perceive creates your surrounding. It's right. That's why the environment is something that you have created. It's like the spider lives on his own web. Spider has weaved his web and lives on his own web. Same way, ignorant mind living in the environment that is created by the ignorant mind. Right? We all have get together and make this party, the world party. There's no you and me, and these things are happen because of the ignorance. Because of the ignorance, there's a sense of self happens. That is also, ladies and gentlemen, the utter fallacy is that is also a sense. The separation means it's also a sense. It's not something there. I mean, nothing ever fixed, ladies and gentlemen. There's a fixed sense, not sixth sense. There's a fixed sense. The sense of fixed, the fixedness. You feel fixed. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you feel that whatever the room was existing. That's why, that's why, that's why this mind is each and every moment when mind arises because of the ignorance, there's an existential inadequacy arise in the mind because to experience this separation.
Yes.
It's artificially creating this. The sense of separation, as a result of that, you feel now you are living in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, each and every moment, what exactly happened is mind arises and passes away. Each and every moment, mind arises and passes away. There's always seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. These processes arises and passes away. There's nothing else, nothing other than seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking that you experience. You can't experience a world, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine if we can come out from this body and see what exists outside, you'll be in chaos. My goodness, what the hell is this? It's a hell, ladies, and it's a chaos in the outside. I mean, we feel that outside world is very lightened, right? Like light is there, sound is there. No sound, no light. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, when we draw atoms, we draw a boundary line. There's no corner, there's no corner, there's no boundary in the atom, there's no something fixed boundary. We are the one who is projecting a boundary based on our perception. the dukkha characteristics and the dukkha is two things, right? Idan dukkhang ariya satchang pubbe ananusutesu dhammesu. This is, Buddha has explained, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, here I am presenting. The way you experience is wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, here I am presenting, right? The Arya Satchang, the first noble truth. The way you experience the world is utter fallacy. It's wrong. It's because sorry, I have to go there. It's because of this jati. Right now you experience you and in environment, you experience subject and object. The way that you experience right now is utter fallacy. It's wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Buddha said. That's what Buddha found. Because of this sense of self, the sense of entity, the false sense of separation that you experience this subject and object experience, right? The thing is that here I didn't write these things. Because of this ignorance and because of this attachment, ladies and gentlemen, there's always vexation arises. Because ignorance means what? Not knowing the reality, thinking there's a separation, the separation exists. That means, I mean, if I ask you, there's a room. Your kitchen is still there. Kitchen is not room. Room is not kitchen. You feel the separation. You don't have to think that separation is possible. Separation exists. That's what you have an idea. As a result of that, you are expecting where is that separation, but nothing happens here because this is only a sense. These are not separated. These are just creating each and every moment. As a result of that, vexation arises and abhisankara process happens. We will talk about these things, and then jati happens. This is the defilement process. This is the paticca samuppada, the pratitya samuppada that you have. This is the simplified version. Now what happened here? Now, jati is something. This sense is something, an aggregation of energy, artificially aggregated. Energy has been aggregated artificially to feel that a separation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The dukkha characteristic means, right? Artificially aggregated. Dukkha characteristic means aggregated. Aggregation. That is the characteristic of dukkha. The aggregation happens to fulfill something. Aggregation happens, the aggregation happens like in a to create something. It looks like that it looks like that aggregation happens to create something. But the thing is, nothing aggregation happens, nothing created. Always aggregation is still there. There's no sand castle in the sand castle because sand castle is an aggregation of sand. Right?
Yes. Yes.
This is the dukkha characteristics. Dukkha means it looks like there's a purpose to create something, but nothing created. You can't create anything. Because Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara looks like that you are doing very valuable thing. That means that you are perceiving right now, there's a perception happens. You are doing something very valuable. You're doing something very worth, right? There's a perception happens. Your perceiving business happens. Doing something very creative, sorry, valuable, something worth. That's what you feel. No, it's dukkha. Dukkha means wrong. There's no worth in it. It's not worth because nothing can be created.
Dukkha.
No. Arahatun Vahanse also experienced dukkha. Dukkha means not suffering. Dukkha means the characteristic of dukkha means something not worth. Like it looks like that it's something to create. There's a purpose. There's no purpose because there's nothing fulfilled. That characteristic still there with Arihatun Vahanse's chitta. Arihatun Vahanse's also chitta is also perceiving. Nothing. I mean, he can't stop perception. Like we all, we can't. Can you stop your perception? Hmm?
Right.
If happens when the pigs fly, you right, right? When the pigs fly, you can stop your perception. You can't stop your perception. Perception keeps happening. It's something generating. It looks like there's something. I mean, it looks like to fulfill some void, but nothing is built. Nothing ever created. See, when you touch it, right? When you touch it means what? The color happens, touch sense happens. Then, I mean, this is like a perfect trap, ladies and gentlemen. Now you can't come out of it. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This experience itself support for Jati to feel okay, yes, entity. Hmm. Oh, then think about when you eat, there's a six-factor authentication. All these senses are coming together to make you feel that you are mixing what you see, then mixing and take your finger and put it into your, like, let's say you use a spoon and take the food and put into your mouth and you chew it and then you swallow it, swallow it, swallow it, and it goes through this esophagus, and you feel that it's feeling. All these things are confirming, hey brother, this is the same thing. This is delicious. That's the network. That is the ground level of ignorance. People are talking about 60 projection, virtual projection. They are living in the 60 projection.
Yes.
The purpose of our life is to find out. There's no purpose of all these things because nothing produced. Like, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. There's a factory always in production. There's no outcome.
So,
This all happens because of the ignorance.
mhm.
That's why our common enemy is the ignorance. That's why we are fighting against this ignorance. This is utter fallacy, ignorance. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you know that I next time I think I didn't find a lighter here. I'll find out. I need to show you this. Um, the the, the experience, the jati experience. You can explain through the flame as well. We have experienced anicca, dukkha, anatta using a flame. Likewise, jati also can be explained using a flame. So yesterday we discussed slightly. And because when you look at the flame, you feel where's the flame? Do you think it's in your mind? Do you feel it's in the mind or it's in the outside? The outside. Exactly. That then that means, ladies and gentlemen, right at the moment, you are ignorant to the maximum. Not you are ignorant. Ignorance happens in your mind. Sorry to
That's
say
why
that you
Buddha
are
said,
ignorant. Nibbana means when you experience that your experience is an experience.
yeah,
Right? Nibbana means when you experience what you experience, when you experience, this is the Nibbana. This is the mind at the pure form. When mind at its pure form, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't experience any separation. It experience seeing happens, hearing happens, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. These processes are happening. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm doing when we contemplate, we come to this place, like we come to these senses. This is something that that I wish that you experience this. I mean, when we contemplate, when even right now, when I talk, right at this moment, we can experience. It's not something that Nibbana happens right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like Nibbana, one day I will attain Nibbana. These are utter fallacies. You won't attain Nibbana because there's no you to attain Nibbana. What happens is purify the mind right now. Right now, contemplate and understand this. The process of generation of this chitta happens. The seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, thinking, the process happens.
Yes.
This is only what this is the only thing that happens in your life. Your life is your life is totally what? Your life is like, your life is not an entity. You're not an entity. Remember that people, when you say a person, person is not a person. Person is an aggregation of consciousness, the four great elements, and the defilements. These are the the three parts of the person. It's not a person, entity. These all collectively we call it as a person. That's why in Vajira Maharaj Virinwanse, there's a nice sutra in Vajira Sutra. In the Vajira Sutra, the Mara is asking from Vajira, Kenidam Kenayam Pakato Satto Kuan Santassa Karako Kuan Satto Samuppanno Kuan Satto Nirujjati. Where's the person? Where's the sattva? Where's that entity? Where's the living being? Is it something? How does it manifest? Who created this? How this sattva ends? The entity ends. How does this entity ends? This is the question that Mara is asking from the Vajira Maharaj Tirinvasi. Then she replies, Kinno sattoti pachesi Mara ditti gatang yute. Suddha sankara punchoyam naida sattu upalappati. Where's the which sattva you are talking about? There's no sattva. Which living being you are talking about? There's no entity. There's no fixed entity. There's no fixed being that exists in this world. It's a wrong drushti. It's a wrong point of view that you have seen as an entity. There's no entities exist at all in the outside world or inside or anywhere. Everywhere there's a process. This is aggregation. Aggregation process keeps manifesting each and every moment. Right now, you are totally an aggregation process. You are not an entity. This is a process of existence. This is what she says. Then she says, like in the second stanza, third stanza, she is replies in this way: Yatapi anga sambara hoti satto rato iti evan kandesu santesu hoti sattoti sammuti. There's a convention that we refer to as sattva. There's a convention that we refer to as entity, living beings. Like we all refer to all us as living beings. There's a convention. Like when the parts come closer, when the parts bring closer together, it 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 generates a sense of a vehicle. We feel, we conventionally say it's a vehicle, but there's no vehicle in a vehicle because it's an aggregation. It's a collection. It's a collection of parts. Like that we refer to as a vehicle, the naming process we refer to as a vehicle. We refer this Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vijnana Skandhas, all these aggregations collectively as an living being. It's a reference. It's not an entity. A process being happens. Then she says, Dukkhameva sambhoti dukkhan tittati vechita nanyatra dukkha sambhoti nanya dukkha niruddhati. So she's an Arhatun Hanse, right? So she replies, whatever that happened is, say, this process was, the defilement process was always sambhoti. That happens. It is the process that it kept happening. It is the process that it ceased, right? Stops. This is the process that stops. The cessation of this process happened. Nothing else happened. That's what you feel. That's why you feel as what? There's no living being. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, when you contemplate, this is my experience I'm talking about. When you contemplate, when you live with this experience, ladies and gentlemen, you don't experience that you are talking to people and you are, whatever that you are dealing with this experience. You're not real. You become the experience. There's no you and the experience. Think about this. If you are the color, if you are the color, color doesn't want any color, isn't it? Because color is filled with color, ladies and gentlemen. Color doesn't want any color. If you are the color, you understand that. If you are the color, part, color. If you are the ranga, you are the ranga. If you are the color, if you are color, right? That color doesn't want color because color is filled with color. Jati always associate jati dhamma. Jati dhamma and jati. Jati dhamma means the sub-object. Jati means the subject. The me, you feel me, you're me, you're me, and my me is who me. There's no difference at all, these me's. Like this is what we need to contemplate. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, right? Come to see your senses. When you try to understand this, like you don't have to go through all these, technical details. What you have to understand here, color is being, manifesting. It's not something there. It's always happening, like the flame. Energy reaction happens as a result of that colors being manifesting. Whatever that you experience right now itself is an experiencing business. It happens. It's like a flow. It's matching causes coming together. That's why it makes sense. That's why, like, when you are talking about this and you don't talk about America and suddenly, yeah, everything connects. This moment connects to the next moment, connects to the next moment, connects to the next moment. Dumbalakan. That's why I read dumbalakan, da. It's always connected. You don't feel any gaps. You don't feel any glitches. That's why that shadow thinks that I am dancing. That's why you think that when you go to dance here, you are thinking that you dance. You don't dance. What happens? Dancing happens. That's why in the Bible it says, "Oh, it's not I who does this works. The Father within me who does this works. It's not I who does this works. The Father within me who does this works." The Father within me means the pure consciousness. That is right now also, ladies and gentlemen, you have this. The Father is within you. Get rid of the defilements. You will see the Father. Father in the heaven. You have, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing. Have you seen the chefs when they come there, when they come to cook in mass scale cooking, they create a recipe. Like recipe means they create all the curry powder and everything collectively put together, and oil and whatever the sauce together. They create some mixture. All the dishes they put the same thing. In Sinhala we call it kokata taile, right? Everywhere, all the disease you have that. Like let's say a doctor who has a magic medicine, right? Every problem, put that thing, eh, and apply this thing. Apply this cream. He only has one cream. The Buddha has only one cream here, ladies and gentlemen. He is giving us Hima. The Buddha has given us one cream. Everywhere you have to apply this. The thing is, what you have to understand here, when emotions happens, this emotion itself also happens because of the ignorance at that moment, isn't it? Right? When the ignorance is there in that mind, that moment, that's where the consciousness has this jati that creates the negative emotions, right? I'm giving you this is the way that I look at it. Think about this. What you have to understand here, you have to realize it. You have to take that negative emotion and look into it. You don't have to cry. You don't have to go. You don't have to bang your head anywhere. What you have to do is, right? What you have to do is, without scolding, without crying, now take a deep breath and sit somewhere and think about that negative emotion, how this happens. It's not something there, it's always generating. You know, yeah, you have to reflect about that suffering, right? You have to delve into the suffering. You're not doing any action here. You're thinking about itself. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about that suffering. You're thinking, you're looking through that lens of anicca. That means creation, like happening. It's not something there, it's always being produced. When you realize that this is not something was there before, it happens right now. It's not something I won't be with this. It's something that happening. When you contemplate in that way, you know what the secret is? The level of strength, the strength that you feel that emotion reduces. It's not because of that you are now thinking about something else and you are not doing lullabies. Because when you think it that way, you're treating to the ignorance in that moment. Because ignorance now you are taking the effect that happens because of jati to kill the jati. It's like you're using daughter, you're using a son to kill the mother, right? Because of jati, negative emotion happens. Right now, you feel the pain. Go, I mean, do this, ladies and gentlemen. Think, I mean, you don't do that. Naturally, what happens is you take the knife and you kill someone. That's what the people who like. If there's no law, then that's what happens, right? If there's law, the people think, yeah, and all these negative emotion. When you feel that you have cancer, you feel, oh, I have cancer. No. When you feel cancer, when you think that you have cancer, that's where the problem starts, right? You are living each and every moment. The thing is, what you have to do is contemplate about that negative emotion. Think like look at the negative emotion in the lens of in the lens of anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's not something there. It's being. It's manifesting. It's not something produced. It's not something not going to be with you. That's why just 5 minutes ago, the negative emotion wasn't there. Now it appear. It's not something came from somewhere. It appearing in this moment. This is the way to contemplate about it. When you contemplate about it in that way, you are killing the ignorance in the present moment. Right means that moment. That loosens the strength, that reduces the strength of the jati creation process. The thing is, we haven't go through this path. We always have the taken action to through what path? Which path? The wrong path. That's why I want you to associate us frequently. Because when you come to the no, this is also possible. See, when you come to realize that there's another way to mitigate, there's another way to go through, that there's another path to go. Because of the association, now what happened? You take slowly that path. This is what Buddha has asked us to practice, ladies and gentlemen. Kanti paraman tapo titikka. Initially, tolerate to the maximum and reflect about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Buddha didn't say tolerate and tolerate and tolerate, because Buddha knows if you tolerate, there's a limit for all tolerations, right? If there's a dam, there's a limit that dam can hold. There's a strength, the maximum strength that dam can hold water, right? If it goes beyond that it gets overflowed, right? When the dam cracked, you can see water flows everywhere. That's why you have to see through that vexation. When vexation happens, contemplate. Have you seen anyone? If something get angry, he is now going go and sit and do meditate and think about it. Why happens? Have you seen anyone in your life? No, ladies and gentlemen, nobody sees, but we have in our monastery. Everybody is like that. If something has happened, either he is go to his teacher and talk about this case, right? Or go to Velimalu, the promenade, meditation hall, and think about it. This is what we do. But the thing is, outside world is completely different. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Only way you have to reflect through anicca, right? This is the main point here. I'm not talking about see suffering, suffering. You don't contemplate of suffering. Even though you said 1,000 times suffering won't like decay. You have to look at suffering as something that manifests. It's something appear. It's something not coming from somewhere, because what you experience are rupa vedana sanya sankara vinyana. These colors are manifesting. You know that raga desha moha. These are aversion, delusion, craving, aversion, delusion. Whatever the agitation that
It's
happens in the
greed.
mind, greed, aversion, delusion, these are something that happens within your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Like when jati happens, these are the characteristic of that jati happens. Don't, I mean, you have to take maximum out of the moment, because these are providing you a hint. Now you have to practice the path. I mean, these should be your triggering point to practice the path. The thing is, I mean, the thing is, there's no, I mean, you don't practice the path. What you have done is so like, it's not practicing the path, but you're so expert in what? Practicing the not eightfold path, noble eightfold path, practicing the ignoble, immoral, no, immoral and ignoble eightfold path. This is the path that you have been practicing. I want you to start here. That's why magga nattangiko setto chattanan chaturopada. Sorry. Esova maggo nattanyo. Dasanassa visuddhiya. Esova maggo nattanyo. Dasanassa visuddhiya. The practicing the eightfold path is the only path that you have to do. Noble eightfold path is the only path to purify your mind. That means associate the Kalyana Mitra, associate the noble friends, and get the right view. I think internet will be there, right? Still, I have the laptop screens. Yeah, see, it's this is good rather than before, right? It's okay. See, there's a difference. There's no difference. Because of the jati, we feel that is different to this. Buddha is talking about arising and passing away. Arising and passing away. The nature, there's a nature of arising and passing away. So if something produced, if there's a thing produced, you can't say there's a decay, there's a passing away, there's a arise, like arising, not something arised. There's a quality of being arising, and that process cessation. There's a characteristic of arising of the process happens and the process stops. That's what it means by arising and passing away. But when jati happens, you feel arising of something and passing away of something. Energy means also the four great elements, also anicca, right? Buddha has told about it. Buddha told about it that these four great elements are in the form of in the process of decaying to the suddha, the pure energy, the not the four great element energy, the pure energy, which doesn't have any form, right? It takes 40 antak eons, antak kalpa. It has a uh, the life. of that 40, whatever, 20 or 40, right? So we don't have to worry about that. If you go to that realm, then I have to talk about this Abhidhamma and all these things. We don't have to go through. I mean, we are just take a shower, take a bath, take a bath from sea, the shore, right? We don't have to go deeper and dive in the middle of the ocean. So there's a ocean of Dhamma, ladies and gentlemen. We are just taking a few points and discussing because we just want to liberate ourselves. This is not the place to understand the Dhamma. This is the place to contemplate and practice the path. Anicca, realize anicca happens when you're listening to the Dhamma. This is not like, I know that this is the, I mean, there's a people that some monks are explaining in that way as well. But the thing is like this: arise, abide, and passing away doesn't mean something arise, it was there and passing away. This is exactly like this. Let's say you are turning on the tap, there's a hose, right? The water flower, the water like fountain, right? When you start the water flow, it arises, start to begin. Now, abide means it's not something there each and every moment because of the flow. It looks like it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. Abide doesn't mean it's there, but it look like it's there. Abide doesn't mean because of the, when you read the textbook, in the process of jati happens within your mind, you think that, he is talking about something, right? Like the soap. There's a production of soap, there's a decay of soap, because when you use it, the soap they decay. Not like that, right? Abide means something exist, means not exist, looks like exist, but each and every moment it was producing. The energy is being reaction. That's why there's a, you can see the flame, you light up the flame, and the flame is being manifesting and then extinguishing, the cessation of the process. That's what it meant by arise, abide, and passing away. Okay, I think, shall we call it a day then? Ladies and gentlemen, please practice the path. That's the only thing I have to tell you. Listen,
Thank you.
comprehend, and practice. Do that.
Thank